My name is Jack, and welcome to the presentation of my final year engineering project, developing a system of activity-specific prostheses for fly fishing. Fly fishing is a specialized type of fishing that employs a lightweight, artificial fly to attract fish. In contrast to traditional fishing, where the majority of the rig's mass comes from the lure or bait and a casting weight at the end of the line, fly fishing rigs feature a weighted fly line made of synthetic materials such as nylon or fluorocarbon. This allows the fly line and fly to float on the water surface due to positive buoyancy. Compared to traditional fishing, the casting techniques of fly fishing generally involve more complex physical actions to successfully propel the line and attach fly to the desired fishing location. My project focused on a human-centered design approach, working in conjunction with a primary user, a quadriplegic amputee, to design a modular system of prosthetic devices that enabled them to access the sport of fly fishing. After a thorough literature review and product market analysis, it was clear that there existed only a limited number of prosthetic devices designed for fly fishing. And of those that were found, they only served to provide assistance in a single aspect of the fishing activity, such as a rod holder, rod stand, or reeling mechanism. Additionally, all available devices assumed only a single limb of the user is missing, therefore excluding individuals with more severe amputations, as was the case with the primary user. With no apparent substantial development within this area of prosthetics, there seemed to be a real gap in the market. I began templating my ideas with the help of Koala Limited, a soft prosthetics manufacturer based in northwest London, who were also affiliated with this project. Last year's design attempt was a two-armed system, where the user's transradial residual limb on their right arm and their shorter and less mobile transhumeral residual limb on their left arm were used. This was reported by the user to be cumbersome and fatiguing over extended periods of use. One of my main objectives was to therefore create a system of devices that could be operated with just one arm. The basis of my design stemmed from the true-to-life measurements of the user's upper right residual limb, which was following a transradial amputation. A 3D model file of the user's residual limb was provided by Koala Limited, which was 3D printed in a low infill density and fitted to the latest Koala soft prosthetic sleeve. The project was divided into three separate designs. One, a right-arm prosthetic device, which was a wearable interface between the user and the fishing rod. Two, a wheelchair docking device for secure attachment and detachment of the prosthetic device, which could be performed independently by the user. And three, a wearable right-arm reeling device with which the user could connect to and actuate the reel handle. A detailed product design specification was devised for each of the designs to ensure conformity to both the technical requirements of the fishing activity as well as the end user's needs. The right-arm prosthetic device. Through numerous iterations of design sketching, CAD modeling, and rapid prototyping of the modular components that constituted the right-arm prosthetic device, a final CAD model was developed and 3D printed before being assembled with bolts, screws, and other fixings. The final version of the right-arm prosthetic device was made from 7 individual modular components. Some of the key features were a sliding block and rail attachment system, allowing customized positioning of the variable diameter rod clamps to accommodate many types of fishing rig setups. A Koala Limited docking plug which was compatible with their pre-existing soft prosthetic sleeves. Tapered upper and lower sleeves with elastic strap fitting via a ladder lock buckle design, similar to those found on backpacks. This allowed customized fitting and increased user comfort. A biomimetic T-support constructed from thermosetting plastic, inspired by a human knee joint to keep the upper sleeve horizontal at rest. For the second part of the system, the wheelchair docking device, a similar design process was followed. Topology optimization was also used. This is a mathematical shape optimization method that uses algorithmic models to optimize material layout within a user-defined space. With topology optimization, I was able to maximize the strength of the design whilst also minimizing its volume and material used. The final design iteration included D-shaped rods to allow the right arm prosthetic device to slide onto the docking device for temporary resting, The D-shaped rods had inner round steel rods for reinforcement. Heat set threaded inserts to provide a strong 1/4 inch thread for the wheelchair clamps. For full docking, front and rear shelving that provided a friction-based connection able to withstand the variable pulling force directions of hooked fish. To enable the user to completely detach their residual limb from the right arm prosthetic device, an extrusion was incorporated to align with the release button on the wrist of the Koala soft prosthetic sleeve. The user was then able to actuate the release button by pushing firmly against the extrusion and then pulling towards them for complete detachment. This is what the final assembly looked like. The third and final part of the system, the right arm reeling device, was partially developed as a proof of concept. An exploded diagram shows the key features and component parts. In the final stages of my project, a user testing session was carried out. This was a chance to demonstrate my system of prostheses and gain valuable feedback and insight directly from the primary user. The feedback and potential areas of improvement were recorded in preparation for the final design iteration of the system. Future developments. While this project has focused on one specific activity and user, this human-centered design approach could feasibly be scaled up to a wider market. There are an estimated 3 million upper extremity amputees worldwide, with 2.4 million living in less economically developed countries. I developed a business model canvas on deployable prostheses with the aim of providing 3D printing technology and training to healthcare centers in developing countries. 3D printable files could be sent remotely via the internet for printing, assembly, and fitting to the patients most in need. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and goodbye.